Hey guys, wonderhussie here in fabulous Denver, Colorado. Okay, I know that was kind of backlit, but here I am in this hotel kind of near the airport on the edge of the vast Great Plains at the foot of the magnificent Rocky Mountains, having just returned from this fantastic train journey that I went on with my friend Bob. We took a train all the way from San Francisco to Denver, up and over the Sierra, up and across the desert, up and over the Rocky Mountains. I mean, it was an amazing journey, but now I'm in Denver and I got to get back to San Francisco. And unfortunately, well, I don't have the time to take the train back, so I got to fly. But I thought I would make a video about the Denver airport because it's supposed to be a really interesting place for a number of reasons. The first of which is there's apparently this huge 32-foot high sculpture of a anatomically correct stallion standing guard in front of the airport. And I guess they call it Blucifer because it's blue and it has red glowing eyes and it looks satanic and it has this big veiny, pardon my French, horse. Anyway, I'm already late. I'm supposed to get on this airport shuttle in 3 minutes. Oh my God. I better get downstairs right now. Oh man, while I'm down here, look at this amazing buffalo sculpture. Isn't that beautiful? Made out of all these furs and fabrics. And then look how cool over the check-in desk. All these little shelves that are made out of old vintage suitcases. Isn't that a fun idea? Whew, okay, I guess I didn't miss the shuttle. It just hasn't got here yet. Look at this. All these people loading up all their ski gear. We're here in Denver at the foot of the Rockies and there's still plenty of snow. So, you know, plenty of people going skiing and snowboarding. That's one way they keep their economy afloat here. It can't just be train-crazed YouTubers. Oh, here we go. I sit way back here in the back on the left-hand side so I can see out the window because that's the downside of this giant horse statue. There's nowhere you can park and look at it up close. You can only see it as you're driving by. But I researched it on Google and it looks like it'll be out the left-hand side. So we ought to be able to get as good of a glimpse as anybody. Well, since we're just going to be blazing by it, I'm going to try to film it in slow motion. Okay, wow, I don't know how good the footage I shot is going to come out, but that thing is 32 feet high, bright blue, electric red eyes, a giant veiny undercarriage, we'll just call it, and it killed the artist, okay? The guy, the sculptor that was making it, I think one of the pieces fell on him when he was assembling it and crushed him. Okay, so I guess that's part of the reason why they call it Blucifer, because well, it killed its creator, and it's just terrifying looking. Man, I would love to get up close and personal with it, but it's on that island in the middle of the highway, and so the only way I feel like you could get out there would be illegally by running across 5 lanes of freeway, maybe in the middle of like a Tuesday night or something. I personally think that might be worth doing at some point because I would like to see, okay, I know it's kind of gross, I would like to see the junk up close. Well, darn it, I just Googled these other creepy things here at the airport. Okay, there's these murals that are super creepy that remind a lot of people of like a kind of like a New World Order takeover. And I saw them once. I flew in here in like 2016. It's the only other time I've been to Denver at all. I've never been to the city of Denver other than this one time I flew in here And a friend of mine picked me up and we went out to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. Anyway, I remember seeing the mural back then and it was creepy, and I think I took a picture of it, so well, at least I can include some B-roll in this video. Yeah, just really weird murals that, I don't know, maybe because of public outcry or public suspicion, they moved. They're not here in the airport anymore. I guess they're going to display them somewhere else at a later date, and I don't know if that's because people complained or people were freaked out or who the hell knows. Anyway, man, it sucks. I got up early and came all the way. Oh, look at this Denver beauty in her little cowboy hat, her little Denver outfit. Anyway, I got up and came to the airport early thinking I would film that, and it's not here anymore. What am I going to do at the Denver airport for another... I don't think my flight leaves for 2 hours, and on top of that, it's delayed. I mean, I guess there's supposed to be all kinds of interesting public art here at the Denver airport, including this display of dance costumes. I don't know. I guess that's kind of interesting. Apparently the reason why there's so much public art here is, I guess, the former mayor of Denver passed some municipal bill that any big construction project had to dedicate 1% of its budget to some public art fund. And so they got plenty of money to spend on this crap. On this art. And I say that as a former art major myself. I love art. I do think art is important, and it does make the airport a little bit more interesting. I mean, if you're going to be stuck in an airport, you might as well have interesting stuff to look at. Like, look at this airplane that is suspended in the sea terminal right over this weird, I guess it's supposed to be like an Aztec temple garden. You can see this is like a 3-level concourse. I'm up here on the 3rd floor. The 2nd floor is where all the airport gates are and all the stores and Starbucks and stuff. And then on the bottom is this train that takes you from A to B to C terminals. But the sort of mezzanine level, there's this weird, it's supposed to look like an Aztec temple. I'm not really sure why. I guess just because they had this public art fund and they had to spend it, they might as well do something with it. But I do think this airplane is kind of interesting. It says it's this plane set the official around the world speed record. It went from Colorado to St. Kitts to Cape Verde to Italy, then Saudi Arabia, then India, then Philippines, then Russia, then Alaska, and then Colorado. Back in 1996, it did the whole thing in 49 hours, 21 minutes, and 8 seconds. I guess all those different countries are the places it had to stop and refuel? I'm not sure, it doesn't say. But I guess because the flight originated in and ended back up in Colorado, that's why they have it hanging in the airport. There's the Colorado state flag on it, but then there's also the California state flag. Now that's interesting. I wonder why they have the California flag on there. Maybe the guy who funded it was from California. I don't know. Speaking of California, though, I will say I know someone who is very anti-Denver. He calls it Mile High, and he's very anti-Mile High because, well, A, his catalytic converter was stolen out of his truck while it was parked at this very airport once. I guess that's enough to make anyone salty and prejudiced against a city. 2, this person used to live in a Colorado mountain town, a ski town, and he said every weekend they were invaded by these city people from Mile High, and so I guess he kind of developed a grudge against them. All I can say is that this is only my 2nd time being in Denver, and I have noticed that people here are kind of grumpy. Okay, I don't want to offend any Denverites. What do they call people from Denver? Denverians? Denverites? Assholes. Just kidding. I'm sure there's plenty of fine folk living in Denver, and I would like to come back here someday, because when I was downtown yesterday after getting off the train, me and Bob were kind of walking around the old train station looking at all the big buildings all around us, and it seemed like a really interesting city. I would like to come back here. There's a lot of history here. And probably a lot of cool stuff, cool restaurants, bars. Seem like a very kind of hipstery kind of place. Anyway, I don't mean to disparage Denver. I'm just telling you what this person I know had to say. And you know, I got here myself. I've already been here for like an hour and a half. I went to Starbucks. I got some oatmeal. I'm just killing time, trying to think of something interesting I can film since those murals are gone. But as I did make my way into this airport, people did seem a little bit aggressive, a little bit entitled, kind of how people think of Californians. Isn't that how people think of Californians? I mean, I am a Californian by birth, and I do still technically live in California, albeit the farthest, jankiest little toenail of California, way out in the East Mojave Desert on the Nevada state line. I'm still a Californian, and I don't consider myself aggressive or pushy, but a lot of people do think Californians are pushy and aggressive. Well, as a Californian who has been all around California, I must say I have found the people at this airport to be even pushier and more aggressive than Californians. Maybe there's a lot of Californians who moved to Denver and that's what it is. I don't know. I just know I caught a whiff of some entitlement, especially as I was going through the security line. But I'm sure there's plenty of good things that you could say about the folks here in Denver. I mean, for one thing, I read online that there's supposedly these airport therapy dogs walking around here. It's like a volunteer program where people bring their pets in and just walk them around the airport so you can pet dogs, you know, while you're sitting there waiting for your flight. Because flying can be a very stressful experience anymore. You know, we've gotten spoiled. Think about how the pioneers would have felt. You know, these pioneers that had to take a wagon all the way from Independence, Missouri, all the way to, you know, Sacramento, and it took them 6 months, and they had a sky-high risk of being attacked by Indians or dying of disease. For them to be able to fly that distance in 5-6 hours, it would have been like a miracle. Well, here we are, you know, 150 years later. Flying is stressful, but it is. You know, you gotta take off your hat, take off your shoes, go through the thing, get scanned. Like, it's kind of a pain. So to have these people walking around with pets, with dogs you can pet, I guess it's just kind of a neat way to lower your blood pressure. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any of those therapy pets in my hour and a half that I've been here. Maybe because I'm lurking around on level 3 by the dance costumes, and that's not where the therapy pets are. But there is something kind of cool up here. Check this out. There are a bunch of these really funky kind of Adirondack style deck chairs you can sit in and chill out, but they're made out of old skis. Isn't that cool? I thought this was a really neat idea. I'm sure there's tons of old skis floating around Colorado, and so some artist, I guess, was commissioned to make chairs out of them. Let's see how comfortable they are. Ugh. Oh yeah, man, boy, if these skis could talk, I bet they could tell a story or two. Some brewskis, hot toddies being consumed at the ski lodge afterwards. That seems to be the best thing about skiing to me. Après-ski drinks at the lodge. Actually, this makes me think of, I just did that video with my friend Bill in Santa Fe, and he was talking about how he skied basically up and over the Sierras with his friends on wooden skis. Can you imagine? Bill is so old. Skis were made out of wood in his day. Not this fiberglass or carbon fiber or whatever they use nowadays. Just kidding, Bill. You know I love you. Mwah. Ugh. Anyway, here's a nice peek down at the sea gates. This is where Southwest flies out of, and this is kind of my purgatory for the next hour and a half. Oh wait, I just checked the time, and it's actually only about an hour until my flight. So I guess I should make my way over to the gate. I don't want to be late because my brother is coming to pick me up. I'm flying into Oakland, California in the Bay Area. That's where this train trip started. It started in Emeryville, which is in the East Bay, not too far from Oakland. And little known fact, my brother lives in that area, and he was kind enough to let me park my car on the street in front of his house while I'm gone, so I didn't have to pay $25 a day to leave it at the hotel where I stayed. Anyway, he's gonna come pick me up when I get to Oakland. Unfortunately, he's going snowboarding immediately thereafter, so he doesn't really have any time to hang out. But he said he would pick me up and take me back to my car, and then I'm gonna go hang out with my mom, which I'm actually looking forward to. I haven't seen my mom in since Christmas, so a few months now. So that'll be nice, assuming my flight isn't too late, and assuming I don't get sucked into this evil vortex that supposedly surrounds the Denver airport. You know, another thing they say about this building is, I guess if you look at it from an aerial view, it's supposedly shaped like a swastika. So between that, Blucifer, those creepy New World Order murals, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about this airport, and a lot of people think there's some kind of secret bunker, underground bunker where the Illuminati are hiding out, or where the Illuminati are gonna hide out when the world ends, which if you've looked at the news anytime lately, which I just made the mistake of doing while I was sitting here waiting, well, you might think the end of the world is right around the corner, in which case maybe I should spend the remaining minutes between now and the time I have to board my plane looking for the entrance to the bunker so that I can survive the apocalypse. I don't know. I'm not really much for conspiracy theories, doomsday, or frankly watching the news. That was my first mistake. I shouldn't have looked at the news to begin with. And that's my advice to everybody watching this, man. Turn it off, turn off the TV, throw out the newspaper, go for a walk, go for a hike. You'll be much better off for it. In fact, if I could just walk back to San Francisco, well, it'd probably take me 6 months to get there, but I'd probably be a better person for it. But unfortunately, I'm going to get my fat ass over to the gate, onto this plane, and fly back. So I guess I'll see you next Wednesday with some new exciting adventure. I think I have one more Santa Fe video to edit that I made with Bill before I post this train video. The train video is going to take me like 3 days to edit, and so I can't even get started on it until I know I have a big chunk of time to devote to it. So stay tuned. Train video is coming, but it'll probably be 3 weeks before I get it up, because believe it or not, I think I have a last minute trip to Tucson coming up sometime in between now and then. And, well, as anyone who's ever been to Tucson knows, ain't no one sitting around editing video in that city.